How's it going, everyone? It's Sam. Michael Dell just said something really interesting, actually hinting at something really interesting. And there's some pretty big news that he is selling a good amount of stock, over $1 billion worth. And I want to talk about the implications of this because he is someone that has been posting and posting and posting about Bitcoin recently. Someone that has a $100 billion tech company, and he's been posting about Bitcoin more than his tech company over the last 10 days. We also have some mysterious buys as well within the cryptocurrency world. I want to talk about that. I want to show you what's going on behind the scenes at a bit of a different location here today. So not the normal office setup. Sitting here in the car, just drinking a little bit of coffee here, ready for wherever the day takes us. Obviously, there have been there's typically lower volumes around holidays. There's lower volumes on the weekends. But with that, we can sometimes see the price shoot down faster as well because of that. So be ready for anything. Be ready for some volatility. There are links to Margex and to CoinW underneath the video in case you want to trade cryptocurrency using leverage. You can use those links. There's also a link to Bitcoin Nashville as well, where you can get an extra 10% off using that link underneath the video. Okay, let's get into what's happening right now. Let me switch you over. There might be a second where the audio kicks off. Okay, so hopefully you can hear everything all right. This all started, Michael Dell, who owns Dell Technologies, this started about 10 days ago when Michael Dell said this. He said, scarcity creates value. And Michael Saylor said, Bitcoin is digital scarcity. And then Michael retweeted that, reposted it. Okay, pretty interesting. Then a day later, he says, what do you think the next big breakthrough in tech will be? Quantum computing, AI, blockchain, space tech. People said blockchain. Then he said that same day, this is a great account to follow. Me Cookie Monster, very entertaining. And then it was obviously a Cookie Monster eating some Bitcoin. Keep on scrolling, and we'll get to why this is important here in a second. Goes on, way up here. Sorry, there's a lot here. Just yesterday, he says, the most important thing, and people voted Bitcoin. And I said, apparently, okay, so they started taking Bitcoin for payments 10 years ago. There have been some mysterious buyers of Bitcoin that have to be worth tens and tens and tens of billions, probably close to 100 billion. Well, Michael Dell is worth 100 billion plus. He's posting about Bitcoin a lot right now, and it just came out. Let me scroll over to this. It just came out that he is selling some shares. The founder of Dell is selling $1.3 billion worth of shares. Should investors be getting out too? Okay, this is a profitable, cash-flowing tech company. He owns a majority of it, 60% about. So he's talking about reducing his stake by maybe, 2%? Something like that. So not a big deal, but what would he be freeing up the cash for? Like, what would be a better use of cash than his own company? They're cash flowing. Again, they're profitable. He already has net worth outside of his company because he's worth 100 billion plus, and he owns about 60 to 70 billion dollars worth of Dell. So he's got 40 billion in other places. Why would he need 1.3 billion dollars? Maybe to go buy some Bitcoin. We know Mr. 100 has bought 808 Bitcoin worth about $50 million. This was all yesterday. So maybe he's Mr. 100. Maybe he's this entity here. While you were scared, someone bought $475 million worth of Bitcoin from Binance. Okay, so it's interesting. Of course, we don't know who Mr. 100 is. We don't know if Michael Dell is going to be buying. But it is fascinating to think about. Now, what would be better than Michael Dell actually buying Bitcoin himself? Ooh, let me take you off that. What would be better than Michael Dell buying Bitcoin himself? The company, Dell, buying Bitcoin. Now, why is that? And sorry, my nose is a little bit stuffy. Allergies up here. Why would that be better? Why would it be better for Dell, the company, the $100 billion company, to buy as opposed to Dell, Michael Dell? Well, it will increase the volatility, just like we've seen with MicroStrategy. It's the MicroStrategy playbook. Okay, so you go buy $1 billion worth of Bitcoin, your volatility goes up on your stock, which means you can sell more senior convertible notes and you can get a cheaper, much cheaper rate on them because there's more volatility. So more people think they're going to go up. So then you don't have to give as much interest. So they're basically somewhat similar to call options, let's say. So you sell more senior convertible notes. Then because of that, you can go buy more Bitcoin, which increases the volatility, which allows you to sell more senior convertible notes, and so on and so on and so on. So it's just such an attractive playbook. Now, who says Michael Dell doesn't do both, right? He could go buy $1 billion worth of Bitcoin himself, or 850 million or whatever after he pays taxes. And Dell, the company, could also do the same thing. Now, I'm not saying they're going to, but I would not be surprised if some big tech company did this at some point. Do it until it stops making sense, until it stops working. But right now, it's working. A lot of companies are being able to get a lot of Bitcoin, being able to add a lot of Bitcoin to their balance sheet. And we know Michael Dell is a true believer. He bought years ago. He started accepting it as payment 10 years ago through Dell. He's talked about Bitcoin for a long time, so I'd not be surprised to see him start to accept Bitcoin again, or like push that more. I don't know if they're still accepting Bitcoin as payment, or go buy a bunch of Bitcoin with their balance sheet. I think they have right around $6 billion of cash on their balance sheet. And I would not be surprised to hear him say that he bought some Bitcoin himself as well with some of these proceeds. Let me know your thoughts on this underneath the video, though. It's interesting. It's interesting. We did move up from, 60,000 yesterday all the way up to 61.5. So obviously some people are buying, some people are smashing buy. Not a lot of volume, so it always helps when someone goes and buys $500 million worth of Bitcoin. But keep in mind, we are maybe mid-stage of this bull run, so hopefully you have some allocation by now. Of course, not financial advice. You have to make your own decisions, but let me know your thoughts on all this underneath the video. Let me know if you think Michael Dell is buying. Do you think he's Mr. 100? Do you think he's this person that bought $500 million from Binance? And let me know whether you think he'll announce publicly that he or his company bought some Bitcoin. Thank you so much. You can check out the links to Margex and also to Blowfin and to CoinW and to a bunch of other exchanges underneath the video. Also, there is that link as well to Bitcoin Nashville in case you want 10% off your tickets. It really does help me out too because I get a free ticket. So I appreciate that. Thank you so much. I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.